Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. Okay, we're going to close out this week, which is a week where I've taken today I'll make 5 different biblical characters, and I've asked the question from their perspective, God, what are you doing in my life? And I want to end today with the Apostle John. Now, John grew up as a fisherman, and he was called as a young boy to follow Jesus. And he, the history teaches, and I think the Bible indicates, was younger than all the other disciples of Jesus, the apostles. And he followed Jesus, and Jesus gave an indication that John would live for quite a while to bear testimony. In fact, this is John that, hanging from the cross, Jesus instructed to take care of his mother Mary. So the Apostle John had a very close-knit relationship with Jesus. And he was seeking as an apostle to teach about Jesus all the days of his life. Well, church history records that John did outlive the other apostles. And he was the last one alive, rolling into the 90s. So here he is, a man probably in his 80 years old. And what had happened to him, he was living in Ephesus in Turkey. What had happened to him was Caesar had banished him from civilization, for lack of a better way of saying it. He was sent in isolation to a little island off of Ephesus, Turkey, off the coast of Turkey. The isle was called Patmos. And I love to go there. We've been there a few times. It's really, really an incredible island. And from that island, you can see the coast of Turkey. But John is isolated there. And he's walking the beach, and there are 2 little hilltops there, and he's walking the hilltops, and he's at a stage in his life where Jesus has passed away, where all of his friends have passed away that he walked with Jesus, and he realizes how important it is to get that message out there. He writes the last gospel because he's got memories and things to say about Jesus that nobody else has. There's nobody else alive that he knows of who has that firsthand intimate knowledge of Jesus. And so he finds himself with all of these things to say, and yet he gets sent to an island in isolation. And I have no doubt that he might have been walking up and down the beach of the island wondering, what, God, are you doing in my life? I mean, is this the way it ends? You know what happened on the island? He hears a loud voice like a trumpet, and he has an encounter, a vision with Jesus and God, and it is incredible. The vision becomes the book of Revelation. And in the vision, John is able to see the throne room and see the angels worshiping God. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come. And he's able to see the seals that open and the scrolls that open and the bowls that are poured out as God gives him an incredible set of visions about how God is going to bring ultimately the end of the age. But even before that, how God will be working in his people. John got glimpses unlike anyone else. And the key is John was told, write this down. If John had said to God, God, what are you doing in my life? The answer could well have been, I'm meeting you privately so you can proclaim my truths publicly. And I look at that and I think to myself, I want quiet time with God. I want to meet with God quietly. I want to spend time every day reading the Bible, even if I just read a verse. I want to spend time every day praying to God. I want to have time every day to meet God privately because of how he can then use me publicly to shine his light, to love the unlovable, to lift up the downtrodden, to bless the hopeless, to inspire the faithless, to do the things that God would have me do, but they will come publicly out of how he feeds me privately. Next week, King David, 5 days in a row. I look forward to talking to you next week. Meanwhile, if you like this or find this useful, forward it, hit subscribe, hit like, put a comment down below. YouTube will blow this up if we do that. God bless you. Have a great weekend.